Okay, obviously there's a lot to talk about before I even get into Raw because it's not really a lot to take away from Raw, especially when we're still doing these performance center shows, which no crowd is out there too, which I feel like we're going to be seeing that for a while, by the way. But there's a few things to talk about before I even get into the Raw review. Number one, Happy 316 Day. We'll get into that later. Crack a cold one. Number two, obviously, I think everyone has heard the news by now, but I think it was happening a little before Raw, but WrestleMania is going to happen. Surprisingly, I am actually surprised WrestleMania is happening because WrestleMania has been in the air right now and no one didn't know if it was even going to happen for that. But here's the catch. WrestleMania will happen. WrestleMania will happen in the Performance Center. Now, like I said, what's going on right now, especially with this whole coronavirus thing going on, everything is just getting canceled out here right now, okay? A lot of things have to be changed. A lot of things have to be rescheduled or just not even happen at all. And trust me, there's a lot of wrestling shows or any type of gathering sport thing, concert, restaurant, bar, multiple things I can go on list right now that is either getting canceled, rescheduled, or open at a later date, okay? And trust me, there's a lot of wrestling shows that are going, down right now or even have to move dates, all right? And WrestleMania was like one of those things that was in the air. Now, I know there's been a lot of pros and cons to what I've seen through people all night. Some people saying this is just the worst idea ever. Why even continue at WrestleMania? Just cancel it and postpone it for a different date. Some going on to say, hey, at least it's actually happening. And WrestleMania is going to happen one way or another, and at least they are putting on a show. So, like I said, it's two ways you could look at it between WrestleMania right now. But like I said, it's just a lot going on right now, okay? And if you just look at the list of so many shows that you have to cancel, reschedule, like, come on. Come on, and didn't NWA just cancel out today, and they're not going to be having anything till June, I believe. MLW just suspended a lot of shows yesterday. Ring of Honor didn't have that pay-per-view on Friday. I said this the other day. I don't know if they even have any other dates right now. I know Impact had to pay the talent and everything through the rest of the month, so at least they paid them in full time. New Japan has nothing going on right now. They're completely shut down, so no New Japan Cup. They've just been trying to keep people entertained on the website one way or another. What is any other wrestling show or company I've been getting? But like multiple indie shows, which probably are getting hit the hardest, because if it's one thing that does hurt a lot of these wrestling shows, if these smaller companies, I believe WrestleCon may have got canceled too, I read. I think there's some stuff going on with the hotel. I don't know the whole detail to that, so I'm not really going to explain that right now. I need to go back and read that up, but a lot of people depend on a lot of those shows, especially with Mania weekend going, and obviously that's not happening. All these shows getting canceled. A lot of people make a lot of money throughout WrestleMania weekend, okay? A lot of money comes into that, but it's just not happening, and this hurts a lot of guys right now. Unless you're not working for some bigger company, then yeah. Now, I know AEW does still have shows going on at the Daily's Place in Jacksonville this Wednesday. I'm surprised there's even an AEW show in general, but I heard it's going to be a lot of restricted fan access into letting people in there. Now, I don't know if there's any other detail has changed as of this date, but we'll see what even happens on Wednesday. I feel like WWE and AEW are the only ones that are still kind of running things right now in these shows. Now, unless it's just a company that is taped and you have content to at least last for a minute, like, I don't know, MLW or Impact or Ring of Honor, then at least you'll be okay and people will probably want to come watch over there, hopefully. But any other future date from that is either canceled all the way in the next month or even longer, okay? Because now I know a lot of people saying that WrestleMania should be going all the way in June, July, August, and yeah, I thought about this too while watching Raw tonight. We don't know how long this whole Corona thing is gonna be going. Okay, nobody knows. I don't know, and I'm not trying to make no projected timetable or anything because we don't know how many I don't know. We don't know if it could go into July, August. We don't know how long this could go. For all I know, it could end before WrestleMania. We can still do the show in whatever the arena it is in Tampa, Florida right now. I don't know, remember the name of it, but that could still happen. But I know it's in that. But it's just like I said, just a lot, and I mean a lot of shows are just getting canceled right now, and yeah, I just kind of thought about it. How long do we have to wait? Because if you wait that long, SummerSlam is going to get canceled, and storylines are going to drag. Because if we talk about WrestleMania all the way to June, July, what are we supposed to? What are you going to do then? Especially waiting that long. Unless you're going to keep playing old reruns of stuff, wrestling shows, then I don't know how good that would be. And we're going to get into a rerun tonight, because I look at this in two ways, and that's always comes to the whole pros and cons thing. Now, it's not happening in the arena, obviously, because listen, if they did that show in the arena, you know how many people would sue if they get sick, especially from this whole damn virus. We know how bad it's going on right now. Now, listen, I sit here and say a lot about it. I've said it before that a lot of this is media manipulation and fear mongering the people. I'm not saying don't take it lightly at the same time. They'll still be cautious about it, but I do believe a lot of things have been overblown in the news and whatnot. Listen, I've been to 2 Walmarts and a Jewel's Osco over the weekend. The most things I saw gone was paper towel, toilet tissue, hand sanitizer, any type of soap from laundry or regular soap, water, or several things I saw. A lot of orange juice was gone, milk, meat. I just see people buying out of fear, or they're just trying to overstock things. Because even I was wondering, like, why so much toilet tissue for? But obviously it's just either hoarding or stocking or whatnot. But then again, I'm seeing people resell their stuff too. They just buy a whole bunch of shit, then just resell them online and resell it just to make a profit off of this whole thing too, which is pretty bit messed up. But folks still hustling at the same time. But I wouldn't really do that right now. But like I said, a lot of just crazy stuff is going on in this. Now, I will say one thing about the WWE, and I don't know who, I'm sure we all know Vince has the final say in this. Listen, that dude may be crazy. Like, a lot of people say just some crazy old guy, but I'll give Vince McMahon one thing. That motherfucker don't give up. Okay, I actually gotta respect his tenacity in a way. This dude does not give up. He was gonna put WrestleMania on one way or another. And I'll give the WWE one thing. At least they are putting on a show, okay? So at least they didn't, quote unquote, back down from this all the way. But I wouldn't want to say back down either. Now, I know it's only supposed to be personal, only, special personnel and the wrestlers. Now, if the wrestlers are safe and can still do this show, then okay then. But at the same time, I'm sure there's a reason why a lot of people do want to have Mania pushed back or just postponed to a later date. But like I said before about the money thing, a lot of people are losing money right now. Even they put out a statement also saying, okay, if we cancel WrestleMania, a lot of money is lost from this. A lot of revenue. And trust me, it's a lot of money going on the line on this. Now, for all we know, WrestleMania is like, what, another 2-3 weeks? It could get canceled for all I know in those 2 weeks. You don't know what could happen in these 2 weeks, okay? And right now, with stuff happening almost every other minute or two, we don't know what's going to happen. But as of this time right now, WrestleMania is still going to happen. So we're just going to go on with that. Now, I don't know I know it's going to be a big difference in this, especially in regards to WrestleMania. Now, I don't know how long the show's going to be. I heard it's not going to be an 8-hour show, so thank God for that. And then, there's no crowd. It's no elaborate entrance, no pyro, no grand extravaganza stuff going on in there. Just trust me, it's awkward without a crowd. I said it about SmackDown the other day, and I'll say it about Raw tonight also. It's very eerie without a crowd there for wrestling. Okay, it's just strange, very strange, and we'll get to a lot of those things also. But I look at Mania. I'm just like I said, I'm surprised going to happen, and honestly, I didn't know if I was even gonna do a review about this show or not. Cause somebody asked me earlier tonight. My friend Kyle, you've probably heard him on the podcast, and I'm think we will be doing one when WrestleMania happens. I don't know how that's gonna go, and it's gonna be interesting because some people have already just said that this show is gonna be trash, which people are already kind of trying to call trash beforehand. But some people are already saying this show is gonna be trash. Well, dude, it's in front of an empty crowd, so how good do you expect it to be? And then again, like I said before, if we waited that long, how many storylines are we gonna drag out that long, all the way going into the summer, unless they can come up with more stuff during that time? Okay. But like I said, at least they are having a show. I'll give them that. So it's funny to me, just at the same time though, because I'm like, man, they really want to do it, or whoever made the decision. Like I said, I'm sure it's Vince, but they really are going along with this. So it is going to be a WrestleMania in the next few weeks, folks. So that is going to happen. Now, unless something happens and it changed, then we'll see. But as of right now, like I said before, there is going to be a WrestleMania in the next few weeks. So that is going to happen. But there are other questions. I don't know what's going to happen with the Hall of Fame. I don't know what's going to happen with NXT TakeOver. I think NXT was also announced today that it will be in the Performance Center. And if all I know, TakeOver is going to happen in the Performance Center too, okay? Everything is just going to be at the Performance Center. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, no crowd. And this is going to keep going. Now, I know a lot of time has to be stretched for this, and I think they should have came up with a different way. I don't know how much talent is at the Performance Center, or who's at the Performance Center, or what they're doing and whatnot, but they're trying to put as many people as they can down there, I guess, because we're going to get into how they stretched out a lot of this show tonight, because even I'm wondering, how y'all going to fill up 3 hours? It was already weird enough filling 2 hours of SmackDown. Imagine filling 3 hours of Raw tonight. Especially with no crowd, no reaction, just dead air. Dead freaking air. And hopefully something good comes from this. But WrestleMania, though, you know, I'm just, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how things are going to look. It's going to look weird without a crowd. It's Wrestle freaking Mania of all things. So, hey, plans could change in the next few weeks for all I know, but I guess I am going to be doing a review for WrestleMania. I don't know how in God's name this is going to work, but I'm going to make it work one way or another. I'll tell you that shit right now. I will make this work to do a review on WrestleMania. So, as of this time right now, there is going to be a WrestleMania happening, unless something changed. But like I said, I don't know all the pros and cons through this, and I'm just reading what some people said. Some people think it's either the most garbage bad idea, or B, it's at least they are having a show, and at least they are going to do something about it, instead of just sit there and just kind of lie down and everything. Because like I said before, there is a lot of money on the line. Now, people's healths could be at risk, so they really need to make sure the talent is going to be okay, and personnel. But I don't know, man. It's crazy, but it's gonna be an interesting few weeks, and it's gonna be interesting when we get to that show, okay? But that's all I really kind of got to say about this whole WrestleMania actually happened, instead of getting postponed and canceled. Hey, we can't do it at the field because, you know, the virus, don't want people getting sick. Okay, we're gonna move everything all the way to Performance Center. So I don't know how long that show will be, but obviously TakeOver and maybe the Hall of Fame, which kind of gets into my next thing now about the Hall of Fame, since I wasn't really mentioned tonight. But as announced today, Jushin Thunder Liger has officially gone into the Hall of Fame. Now, we already knew rumors about this last month about Liger going in the Hall of Fame in general. Listen, Jushin Thunder Liger will go in anybody's wrestling Hall of Fame, okay? I've already talked about his career before in several other videos and what he's done. I'm not going to go into everything because I can just name a couple things. 11-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, Best of Super Juniors winner, I don't know how many times, J Cup winner, inventor of the Super J Cup, by the way, and has won the Super J Cup. What else? I think 6-time IWGP Tag Team Champion. Just matches against a lot. Come on, dude, he just retired in the Tokyo Dome literally 2 months ago at Wrestle Kingdom, okay? Now, I know some people ask me why are they putting Liger in the Hall of Fame, and listen, I know he's only had one match ever in WWE and everything, and I understand that, but Liger has wrestled all around the world, and in many other companies, from WCW to TNA to Ring of Honor to, like I said, all the way to NXT or any, if there's probably other companies I'm missing also, but that's just something to name off the top of my head. So there's a lot you could say about Jushin Thunder Liger's career, and like I said, it's most deserved. I will say that. Like I said a while ago, Liger, he deserves it. He would go in any wrestling Hall of Fame, one of the best. No doubt about that. Had a great retirement run, especially going all the way into Wrestle Kingdom this year, but like I said before, they could have probably put someone else, maybe, or, like I said, he's only had one match, but obviously I feel like WWE is just running out of people to put in the Hall of Fame, so at least we're trying to put in people that do have these, stellar careers and whatnot, even though they didn't really wrestle a lot in WWE, because before, they just mostly put a lot of WWE guys in, but, they are putting more in. So I just feel like they're running out of people, so they're trying to just put in who they can put in. But I do feel like they run out of people now. Honestly, I don't even know if a Hall of Fame ceremony is going to happen, because, come on, you think New Japan's going to send Liger all the way over here and risk of this whole virus thing going on right now? Because, honestly, I think the Hall of Fame this year is actually a pretty stacked class, except for the Bellas, of course. But the Hall of Fame is not that bad of a class when you think about it, because what do you got? Batista deserves it. NWO, even though I've already said what I've said about the NWO before about either 8-hole, 2-time Hall of Fame, which the NWO deserved to go in the Hall of Fame, but I just go with the original 3. I don't know why X-Pac is in it. That still doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but they just want to do it because so everyone can have 2 Hall of Fame rings. Bulldog should have been in there years ago, but at least he's finally in there. JBL, I like JBL to an extent. JBL deserves it. APA, JBL character, or just being the WWE champion in general. So I have no problem with JBL going in the Hall of Fame. Like I said, I don't think there's anyone else. I think that was most of the class. Liger, like I said, the Bella Twins can fuck off. You already know how I feel about that. So they can fuck off all I care. I had this conversation with my friend Steven today. Yes, they mostly done outside contributions, but honestly, they could have put any other woman in the Hall of Fame, and I think it was just way too early to put them in there in general. I feel like they just did it just to do it, and I like a lot of other people. They could have put China in the Hall of Fame individually, or any other woman that deserves it, but nah, you put these motherfuckers in there for whatever reason. But, like I said, I don't know where the Hall of Fame is going to be at, or if there even is going to be a Hall of Fame. But, like I said, Liger deserves it in general, okay? He may have had one match in WWE, but come on, the man's had a very stellar, incredible wrestling career in general, okay? I'm not going to go match for match with him, but, hey, you look up his matches, especially the ones, against Brian Pillman Jr., or, Benoit back in New Japan, or as Pegasus Kid, or hey, you can go to Minoru Suzuki's one, the feud they just had last year, him and Minoru Suzuki. That was a great feud that was going on. Go check that out. So, that's what I got to say about Liger going in the Hall of Fame. So, deserved, no question at all. So, he deserves all of it now. Let's get to Monday Night Raw as we are back in the Performance Center, kicking it off with Lawler, Saxton, and Tom Phillips, who were in the ring, and as they were talking about Raw was going to happen tonight, we kicked off the show with Edge. Now, I do want to give, I will say some credit for Edge, that I think Beth Phoenix said this on Twitter tonight, that Edge drove 17 hours just to get here to do a promo. And you gotta give him credit for doing that, because, like I said, Edge is just really happy to be back, and he gives a damn about this business a lot. So, the fact that he drove 17 hours, especially due to all the travel issues going right now with planes and whatnot, and he drove that long just to do a promo for like almost 10 minutes, you gotta give him a lot of credit for that, man. You gotta tip your hat to that. You gotta, show respect, because that was a great promo he cut on, Orton, because he came out, which still feels weird watching his entrance and everything, but he talked about him and his wife Beth have pretty much had a strange week and everything, as he talked about how Beth was pretty much coming out there a couple weeks ago, mostly about to retire him again, but a lot Edge did in this promo, since there is no crowd. He looked directly in the camera, pretty much talking to Randy, because he's watching and everything. But they've traveled the roads together, and that they've had various similarities and differences. How they even formed Rated RKO to go against DX, and how the person that they went against before, the same person, that is Mick Foley, that took them to their limit and everything to bring them where they were. and it was grit, they said. And he said him and Orton are alike, okay? But the major difference is that he is an entitled brat. That Edge was raised by a single mother who broke her back just for him to get to realize his dreams. But Orton, who came from, of course, a legacy that his father got him a job, that he's been handed everything in his business because of, who his dad and who his name is. But, Edge had to work and fight his way here. And pretty much talked about, going back when he met years ago to what he knew Orton was. And that's why he returned to WWE years later and throwing him out the Royal Rumble match. Because this is what this is really about. And, Beth was here a couple of weeks ago just about retirement, but Orton never let her finish. And now, pretty much, Orton is going to pay, and now he made a horrible decision to what he did to Beth Phoenix. So Edge pretty much looked in the camera, and he challenged Orton to a last man standing match at WrestleMania, because he's going to write this story, and it's not going to be a tragedy. It's going to be a redemption story, and in WrestleMania, Randy Orton is not going to stand up. That was a great promo by Edge. Probably the best thing on the show was Edge in that promo, though. That was great. All right, that was really great. So him just looking in the camera, talking to Randy Orton, and like I said, no crowd reaction, but he made that stuff look very intense, and it was great. Pretty much talking about why he threw Orton out the Rumble and their history together and how they came up and the differences between them. There are similarities, but hey, Orton came from a family, and his family's legacy and what his dad got him a job, as Edge had to, like I said, come from a single parent household and fight his way to get to where he is right now. So great promo from Edge. Like I said, the guy traveled 17 hours, drove all the way here to the Performance Center just to do that promo. So, and it was a damn great promo too. So kudos to him for even taking all that time. Now we are gonna skip a bit of this show, because one thing I will say that I felt that was a little bit cringe in a way was Becky Lynch arriving in her 18-wheeler custom truck. Why does she need this? I don't know, but here we go. We're overdoing the Becky thing again. A lot of cringe coming from this. A lot of cringe. Now, obviously, I didn't know they were gonna fill 3 hours of this show, but for almost an hour, almost half the, I feel like until we got to the final hour of Raw, that's when we got things going back on. But they played the entire 30-man Royal Rumble match from a couple months ago at the Rumble, okay? So, and if you add commercials to that too, that's going to make it even longer. Very, very long. And this was the time to do anything but watch that, okay? Because they really going to play the whole Royal Rumble match. How they played the whole Chamber match on SmackDown on Friday, they going to play the whole Royal Rumble match. I'm like, so this is going to be the time to waste 3 hours? Because I don't know how many people were there on Raw at the Performance Center, or who they called out there tonight, but they played the whole Rumble match over, and this was the time to go do anything else. Change the channel, play a video game, go get something to eat, go take care of business. I don't know, whatever you do, or just sit around. Honestly, I was just playing Smash Brothers, and I was working on some designs during the time and watching something else, so I was about to sit and watch the Rumble. But you could be doing anything right now during this time. Just like I said, either watch something else on TV, go play a video game, go get some pussy, go do any of that shit, okay? Because do you really want... I don't need to sit around and watch some shit I saw like 2 months ago already, so I don't need to do that. That would have been a waste of time. So I turned back after an hour later, and that was when Raw finally came back on, and we were already in hour 3 because they started playing a lot of Austin clips then. And then we get to the contract signing. Before we went to commercial again, Undertaker comes out. No long entrance. At least that's one good thing about WrestleMania. We don't got to watch him almost get 20 minutes down the ring. But this was not regular Undertaker. He had a bandana on. His hair was braided, and no shirt and everything. Undertaker just paced towards the ring, flipped the announce table and everything. There was no contract at the time. So, in a way, we saw American Badass or Big Evil Taker. That's what I was thinking when he came out. Now, I wish I could have heard Roland or his Big Evil theme music, but we just got regular Taker music then. But Taker had the bandana on and everything. I'm like, okay, so he's not regular Dead Man, because I've said it last week. AJ's not scared of the Dead Man or, spooky Taker. So we have to bring out Dead Man. I'm sorry, but Big Evil American Badass Undertaker then. Okay? But as he waited, which we never heard from Undertaker, but AJ Styles was on the screen with Gallows and Anderson, pretty much calling Undertaker old again. That, you were once the guy, you're on the Mount Rushmore, but this is a new day and age, that you've been removed from it. I'm going to take you out of WrestleMania. You don't see Michael Jordan inserting himself into the NBA Finals, or Brett Favre or Peyton Manning or anything to the Super Bowl, but you're just still injecting yourself into WrestleMania all the time. And AJ played Undertaker's wife, Michelle McCool, Michelle Money. I thought that was actually pretty funny right there, but Mark Undertaker calling him by his real name again. That the flame you once had is gone, and I'm going to help her. I'm going to put it out, because she's just got to dust your old hat and coat off and everything. He's going to finish the job, pretty much calling Undertaker old several times. And you got involved in OC business one too many times, and now you're going to pay. And your assisted living costs at WrestleMania is going to be over, okay? And that you will finally rest in peace. Undertaker looked at the screen. Styles had signed the contract in, and he told Gallows and Anderson, you guys go bring the contract to him. They didn't really want to do it, but just don't do it. Just go do it, okay? Bring him the contract and come back. So Gallows and Anderson brought Taker the contract and left in the ring, but of course the light's gonna go out. Okay, he's supposed to be Badass Undertaker right now, Big Evil or American Badass, but he's still doing the spooky stuff. So lights go out, the gong comes back in, and Undertaker's behind him. He beats the living shit out of both Gallows and Anderson, just throwing them all over the place and knocking the hell out of them then, leaving them on the ground as AJ looked on the screen. Undertaker walked up the ramp and looked at the screen before he left. So that was actually pretty good. Another good promo by AJ this week on Undertaker. Like I said, it's that whole kayfabe shoot thing going on, or killing kayfabe if you want to put it. But hey, he's supposed to be an Undertaker badass, but American Badass, a Big Evil, but he's still doing the spooky stuff. I wish he would have came out to Roland or Big Evil, or just had the motorcycle in general, but I don't know. And obviously, I would say wait till WrestleMania to see that, but we're doing WrestleMania at the Performance Center, so I don't think we're getting a motorcycle, and it would have been that long to drive a motorcycle down that type of ramp, because Undertaker was not walking slow this time. Undertaker rushed to the damn ring looking for a fight out there. So at least he is not the Dead Man currently right now. He is American Badass / Big Evil Taker. So that's a segment I did like. Next, Rey Mysterio versus Andrade Cien Almas. Big out there. Asuka on commentary was the best thing on this match, okay? Because listen, I've seen Rey and Almas too many times. Good matches. I've seen a lot of them, but I don't need to see another Rey and Almas match for whatever reason, okay? Most of this time was just Asuka talking on commentary. That's the only thing I kind of really like. I've said this about Asuka before. I don't understand what that woman is saying on commentary, but everything she says sounds cool as shit, and at least it's entertaining. Because, I don't know. At least Asuka was fun on commentary. I didn't mind that. That was the only thing that kind of kept my interest throughout this match, because I've seen Almas and Rey too many times, and this is honestly the only wrestling match you got on this show tonight. So you only got one match on it, and it was like 6 minutes, and most of the good stuff was Asuka on commentary. So there you go. Next, though, Becky Lynch came out, cut a promo on Shayna Baszler, who she was watching on the screen in the back, and she says she's the champion right now, and that Baszler wants to take the title from her. And Becky pretty much says, she was the one that was hunted, but, she's the prey that does take out the hunted now. And she knows what Baszler is capable of. You always had trainers, and that she's the prey, but she's going to kill the predator, basically. And that Becky said that every, word, action, tweet, or anything, or interview is just designed to make Baszler what she thinks she is. And that Becky says she is smarter than Baszler. Alright? And she said, I want you to do something you never done, Shayna. I want you to think. Because how's it going to feel when I beat you at WrestleMania, because you dominated everybody through the Elimination Chamber, but now you're going to wake up to reality, and that she's going to prove at WrestleMania that Baszler's whole life is going to hit her like a truck, because you may have dominated everybody, the whole division in NXT, but now you've come to Raw, and you're on her turf, and, pretty much says she's going to, take her out at WrestleMania as Baszler looked on. So another good promo from, Becky again, but also we went to Kevin Owens, who cut a promo pretty much talking about tonight and talking about Seth Rollins, that a match is going to happen at WrestleMania between Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, and Kevin Owens says he's glad it's at the Performance Center because that's where he came up. Seth never had to come up from the Performance Center, FCW if you want to say, so it's like FCW versus NXT or the Performance Center right now, because Owens says, he started his career. His tryout match was here. And people like Seth told him and other guys, like, you couldn't make it here. You don't have what it takes. You don't belong in WWE. But he made it here. And Rollins was one of those guys. But after he got signed, Seth still kind of downplayed him even to this day. So he's glad it's here. He's glad it's going to be in the Performance Center. Because Seth has never been in the Performance Center before. He didn't train like he did coming up. Okay? So, he owes the Performance Center to his career right now, and they're all the mentors he's had through in here. So it's going to be another Performance Center memory and a WrestleMania memory for Kevin Owens when he beats Seth Rollins. So at least Owens did use the Performance Center in his promo to his advantage, though, to get this match over. It may not be in front of over 80,000 people, but he's going to make it, like I said, it's a personal thing, especially like an FCW versus NXT type of thing going on when you look at it. So that's pretty good. But now we get to the final part of the show. Austin 316 Day. After multiple counts of footage, this was going to get weird. Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I said this about John Cena coming out the other night on SmackDown. Watching Stone Cold Steve Austin come out to no crowd, just drinking and everything, it's just weird, okay? No crowd. It was a tough crowd, all right, because now it's time for a stand-up comedy hour with Stone Cold Steve Austin, folks, because it's the 16th day of March. It is a national holiday. It is Austin 316 Day. Give me a hell yeah, and there is no crowd. They keep cutting the camera to chairs. Tough crowd. Give me a hell. It's like you got to say it to yourself if you're watching at home. Give me a hell yeah. Hell yeah, which the only person that said was Byron Saxton to give me a hell yeah, and then Austin pretty much, said, are you entertained? It's like you have to say at home, like, the what thing, there's no crowd saying what, but, when Austin talks, it's like you gotta say what right after everything he says just to follow along with this nowadays, but, Austin had these cards to talk about 316 Day. And, you got to give a hand gesture. This, if anyone gives you crap out there. And then, for some reason, Byron Saxton held all these cue cards up or score cards at 8, 5s, 10s on them. Like, 8. I'm like, oh, okay. And you got the card up. So he said something in backwards since the card was upside down then. You get to open a can of whoop ass on anybody you want during 316 Day. You get to go over the speed limit or something, or the speed limit is only a suggestion. You get to drink beer instead of coffee in the morning. Start throwing cards around in. 24 hours you can burp and read poetry, and it's like Austin's doing comedy hour out here, and the crowd like, wow, it's a tough crowd here tonight, real tough crowd, and he's getting 5s, he's getting 6s, he's getting 4s, he's getting all these numbers out here for Stone Cold, and you can whoop a can of whoop ass on anybody and still get away with it. And, he says, Saxon, you've been helpful with Austin 316 Day. So, if you want to celebrate, you'd like them to come down to the ring. Of course, Austin had more beer since he drank beer at the beginning. His own brand beer, by the way. But, he says that toasted and that it was 100% pure, unadulterated jackassery or jackass. Austin ended up, of course, drinking beer at Saxton, and then a Stone Cold Stunner happens. More beer, Then Becky Lynch's music hits. Now, I'm sure a lot of people are going to say, and I've said this before, Becky Lynch will be never comparable to Stone Cold, so why do we still keep pushing this whole narrative with that? I can tell people right now it's not the same fucking thing, but they want this woman to be Austin so bad half the time, but I was not mad at this. As long as she did not stun him, I was not going to be that mad at this. I'm like, if she stuns him on this damn show, because I think they did it on Austin's show, by the way, but, Becky came out and everything with a cooler in her hand and says, listen, you're to join me in the ring. You gotta do a 316 thing with me, because last time you stunned me. And Becky said she respected 316 Day in Austin, and they ended up toasting, and Saxon ended up getting up, and Austin just stunners him, pours beer on his head, stuns him, and just, Becky said something out, the man and Steve Austin come around then. And then Austin and Becky had a beer bash, and, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so, and that ended the show. Of course, it was just a lot of promotion for either Stone Cold show on USA, or his show that's happening currently right now during this review of his interview with Brett, in his, smoking skull sessions, or what, the sessions. I may go check that out. I know I saw Brett bury Goldberg, so I can already tell how that interview is about to go, especially if Brett's burying people already, especially Goldberg. But, listen, this was strange. Listen, the best things out of the show you're going to see was either third out. Edge's promo was great. At the contract signing, a lot of contract signings it's going to be too, was okay. Oscar on commentary, and Stone Cold in general. It does look weird. It does look awkward. Just watching him out there with no crowd reaction or no one interacting. It's very strange. I did laugh a couple times, especially with Saxton out there, just kind of looking like a tool with the cue cards and whatnot. And even Becky drinking a beer with him was kind of cool also in some way. I will say that. But listen, I don't know how they're going to keep filling these shows, especially for 2-3 hours. Like I said before, we don't know how long these Performance Center shows are going to keep happening. We already know WrestleMania is going to be at the Performance Center, especially Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. Like I said, you don't know how long this virus is going to keep going for. We don't know when it's going to end. I know the projected date is supposed to be, June, July, or like I said, we don't know how long. So in a way, it's a little bit best you do have WrestleMania go on. And I'm saying that as somewhat a bit of a positive, because there's a lot of negatives to, like I said before earlier in this video, okay? Because it's not the best idea, but what other choice you gonna have? Vince gonna get his money one way or another, okay? Now, unless something happens in those next few weeks and WrestleMania is pushed back, I don't know. But it's many things that are going around people's heads to why if WrestleMania is even going to happen or not, okay? So, it's freaking strange, alright? It really is. You don't know how WrestleMania is just gonna really play into, alright? You just don't really know, because, I don't know how it's gonna turn out, alright? But at least there is a show, because every other wrestling show getting canceled out here, but, one thing, they got to find a better way to fill 3 hours, because, number one, ain't nobody about to sit do another whole hour and a half watching the Royal Rumble, okay? If you count commercials with that too, that's going to even be longer. So that's why I said people are probably doing something else during that time. Alright, but other than that though, this was a very strange edition, and I'm sure we're going to get more strange editions of these Performance Center shows of Raw than usual. So yeah, that's what you got here tonight, okay? So, this was a weird 316 day, but at least I was entertained by Austin. Yeah, I'm going to mark if it's Austin. It's Stone Cold, okay? Somehow they made it work, and it was just a giant beer bash and everything. So, other than that, you should crack open a Steve Weiser, look at I'm fucking up words here tonight, a Steve Weiser, and celebrate 316 day while it's still going. I may not have a beer in my hand, or even a root beer or whatnot, but hey, we'll just crack one open anyways, okay? Gonna keep a little bit away from the equipment here. So I am done with this review from tonight, okay? So comment, subscribe, tell me what you even think about WrestleMania being at the Performance Center in general, and if it's going to work or not. Follow me on Twitter, at HoodedKnight890. Tell me what you think about anything that went on tonight as of 316 day, or anything on Raw that gave you some mild interest, or does this make you not want to watch WrestleMania or going to watch WrestleMania anyway? So it's a lot of questions going on right now in the pros and cons, but WrestleMania will be happening okay? NXT TakeOver, we may find out on Wednesday or tomorrow, or maybe the Hall of Fame. So I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Give me a hell yeah, whatever you want to do or whatnot. Okay? So I'm out here. I'll see you guys later. And that's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Cold said so. Okay?